everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Week in Review. This is a video we put out every week where we go through the Dice Tower videos that we put up the last week, and we put up a lot, giving you short summaries of them. And then if you want to watch the whole video, you're like, I would like to know more, then click the link in the description below. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia. Here's what I reviewed this past week. So I did a showing of the Marvel Unmatched characters that came in Redemption Row and Hell's Kitchen. 6 characters in all, just showing you what the decks look like. I did a review of the expansion to Paris, the City of Lights, called Paris Eiffel, which I rated a 7 out of 10. This one gives you just more of the same. It's the kind of expansion that you mix in and forget about it. It gives you more special abilities. The original game had 12, you use 6 of them. This one gives you another 8, which is quite a nice increment over the original amount. But it does not mix up anything. And so while I rate the original game an 8 out of 10, I think it's a nice 2-player game. This new expansion is nice, more content, enjoyable, but nothing to shake up that formula. You need to know if that's the kind of expansion you enjoy. I reviewed Tribunal 1920, which I also rate a 7 out of 10. This is a 2-player bluffing game in which you are having a legal case and you are trying to present evidence and win. All of that is really very abstracted. It's a game in which you are playing kind of a tic-tac-toe game, trying to line up 3 of your tokens, but you can bluff when you say you are allowed to put something out in this game. And your opponent can call you on that bluff. Very minimalistic game with a great look, a neat theme, and one that, just feels clever and interesting and distinct. It's a different 2-player game. Replayability isn't great. It's not one I'm going to be pulling out every other day and playing for months and months. But I think when it does come out for me, it's going to be one that I'll be smiling through. It's interesting and clever little game. And then lastly, I did a group review. We did a 4-square for Living Forest, which I rated 7.5 out of 10. Living Forest is one of those build a deck and then flip over cards until you want to stop or you bust. It's got a nice amount of moving parts, different ways in which you score. It's enjoyable, if a little clunky. I think there's a lot of upkeep in the game. A lot of, now we do this, now we do that phase, now we upkeep with these flames. So it's a little less smooth, I think, than I would like. But the game is enjoyable. It's got beautiful artwork. It's well put together. I just think I would have liked it to be a bit more refined, maybe is the word. But a neat game. And that's it for me. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, I'm Boccolini, and this week I reviewed Autumn Harvest, a Tea Dragon Society card game. It's a game where you are trying to raise your tea dragon, buy things from the market, make memories, and just trying to get the most points at the end in order to win. I gave that one a 6.5 out of 10. See you later.
Cannaday here, and I took a look at 2 different Marvel Champions Heroes packs. Who would have guessed? I took a look at War Machine, which is a cool guy who basically he has a bunch of upgrades that allow him to use these ammo tokens, and you're exhausting a bunch of cards to be able to ping bad guys away. I gave it an 8.5. Definitely a lot of fun to play, lots of cool combos. And then also Vision, which I gave a 7. He has a dense mass form and a intangible form. Definitely an interesting support character, but not necessarily my playstyle. I like to get up there and do damage, but still fun to play for Marvel Champions in general. And then also I took a look at the big box for Dune Imperium. This is a upgrade with a bunch of different miniatures you can have for a box. I basically took a dive and looked at our copy that we have here in the Dice Tower library, showed how everything fits in the box, and gave my thoughts on the box in general, and that will be a 7 for that as well. Awesome, well that's what I took a look at. Let's get to some more people.
Hey everybody, Chris here. This week I took a look at 2 games. The first one was Glory, a game of knights. I gave Glory a 6. It's an okay game. It's fun. It's a worker placement game themed about jousting knights. It has gorgeous production, fantastic art. The game drags a little bit, especially the more players you add into it. And so the jousting phase wasn't fun enough. It's a little bit too lucky, and it's a little bit too long, unfortunately. But it's a competent worker placement game that I had fun playing, but I'm not itching to go back to. The next game I took a look at, though, Living Forest. I gave this game an 8. This is a game that is light, and it's a little bit lucky, but I do want to keep coming back to it. It's a fun mix of deck building, a little bit of push your luck, and has a smart and a competent engine building system to it that makes every turn more exciting the more trees you've built up, and then you work toward these different scoring or end game trigger objectives. really like this one, so I gave it an 8. And that's been my week.
Okay, so for me, first of all, we have Parks Memory. Parks Memory is a memory match game with special abilities made from the people who made Parks and Trails. But it's memory match. There's not much more I can say. It has special powers, so it's not really good for kids either. I think it's too complex. It's beautiful, but that's about all I can say. 5 out of 10. 10 Nights. This is a little social deduction game where there's a murderer, 15-second nights, 45-second days, 10 times. It's silly, it's fast, it's funny and interesting, but it's a little one note. I don't know how often I'd want to play it. A couple times and you're good. 6 out of 10. Abstract Academy. This is a 6.5 out of 10. It's close. You're building swaths of color, a two-player back-and-forth game, trying to form groups of yellow, red, and blue. It's fine, it's interesting, but there's a lot of games out there like this, and I don't know that this one stands out. Then we have Cape May. There's another one that's a 6.5. It doesn't particularly stand out. I like the concept of it, but I mean, it's a pretty game too, but you're just moving around, building houses, getting income and points. And there's a lot of mechanisms in there, but I don't know, there's something missing in it. Then we have Sentinels of the Multiverse Definitive Edition. Now, this one I originally gave a 9 to. Now it's just a 6. I don't know. I think a lot of it is the app took care of all the fiddliness of the game. The game is now 10 years old, so it doesn't stand out as strongly for me in a plethora of superhero games out there. It's fine. It's very mechanical. There's not a lot of decision space. I don't know. I think I've changed a bit as a gamer, which is why this one doesn't excite me as much. It's still fine. I'll play it. I'm not as excited about it. Then we have Living Forest. We did a 4 Squares review on this one. I like how it looks. I like the multiple winning options. There's a lot of cool things. I wonder if it will be forgotten in a few years, but for now, I'm enjoying it. 7 out of 10. Eero, another 7 out of 10. This is an abstract strategy game where there's colors on the pieces that show you how they can move. Very simple game, a little bit like the Duke in a sense, but what I really like is the component quality and it's fast. Then we have Legendary Annihilation. Another 7 out of 10. This is an expansion for Marvel Legendary. My caveat here would be you want to get the Fantastic Four expansion first because this is kind of Fantastic Four stuff. It comes with Annihilus and Kang and then some other more minor characters of the Fantastic Four. I mean, sort of. You'll see if you watch the review. Three Sisters. I really like this roll and write style game where you're filling up a farm of pumpkins and corn and beans and getting the resources. Made from the same people who made Fleet the Dice game. This is a pretty solid game. I was pretty impressed with it. 8 out of 10. And then I took a look at the newest expansion for Dominion, Allies. Yes, this is the 14th expansion. Yes, they've milked Dominion to death. Yes, this is one of my favorite Dominion expansions ever. I give this a 9 out of 10. It's really fantastic. There are great cards in it. The new Allies mechanism works really well. There's decks of cards you can cycle through. There's a lot of cards in this one that I would play with people who've never played Dominion before and were playing it for the first time. There's several cards in it and things that I would only play with people who've played Dominion a lot. But it's a really nice mix, and I really enjoy so much of the stuff in this box. I also took a look at my top 10 Thames and Cosmos big box games. I'm splitting Thames and Cosmos into 2 categories. I'll talk about their smaller box games in the future. Mike and I went through our top 100 Reiner Knizia games. Yes, he has made that many. And the A-Team went through their top 10 themes in games. Of course, we had all our normal shows. We did crowd surfing. We did board game breakfast. So I did one of them. The Pirates took over the other one. And lots of other things came out this week. I hope you enjoyed it all. This stuff is not coming out this week. This week is the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular. So I hope you join us. It's going to start in just an hour or so. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Week in Review on the Dice Tower.